Hello and welcome to Smaulgld's Perth Mint Gold Sales Update for the month of April 2017. Perth Mint Dismal. April gold sales, as dismal as they were, they topped the U.S. Mint gold sales. Perth Mint sold just 10,490 ounces of gold in April. This is a multi-year low. We're going to take a look at some charts showing how bad the sales were in April at the Perth Mint. We're also going to compare the U.S. Mint sales. Now, the U.S. Mint generally sells far more gold than the Perth Mint. It's a much larger mint. But this month and last month, the Perth Mint sold more gold than the U.S. Mint. Not because the Perth Mint is going gangbusters, but just because they're both getting hit very hard in a slowdown in demand just the past 2 months. Now, there had been a big increase in demand at the end of 2016 and early 2017 in January. So it looks like perhaps their dealers that bought from them, authorized purchasers in the United States, maybe have overbought, anticipating too much demand, and now they've basically stopped buying from the mints. But the April Perth Mint gold sales of 10,490 were higher than the 9,500 ounces in total that the U.S. Mint sold. That includes the 3,500 1-ounce American Gold Eagles, the 3,500 1-ounce American Gold Buffalo, and then the remainder was from fractional size American Gold Eagle coins in the 1/10, 1/4, 1-ounce sizes. Even you add up all the gold bullion that the U.S. Mint sold, only 9,500 ounces, and the Perth Mint managed to edge them out at 10,490. Gold sales at the Perth Mint in April were down 78% from last April when they sold 47,452. The Perth Mint offered no explanation this time for the decline in gold sales. Back in February, they had mentioned that the decline was reflective of a worldwide trend, growing confidence in the prospect of improving economic conditions, and so on. They offered no explanation this time for the declining sales. I suppose they're just endorsing the concept that things are wonderful. I mean, the concept is that people buy gold when they're afraid, and then they buy riskier assets when they're not afraid, and apparently markets are not feeling that fear, at least not in the West and in Australia, but in China and India. Gold sales, gold demand is soaring. Not so much silver, but silver in India, silver in China, but not so much silver in India, but gold in both places. Now, the U.S. Mint gold sales were, as we mentioned, were 3,500 ounces in April. That was down 96% from April 2017 when they sold about 93,000. Let's take a look at the chart here. You can see April, not a good month, but you do see increasing sales from September to January. These are some of the higher gold sales for the Perth Mint in a long, long while. And these two here, these 14 and 10,000, are some of the lowest, if not the lowest, gold sales. So you're kind of seeing this kind of down, then up, and then maybe down, and maybe up again. But let's look at a longer term chart. Here's your pitch to make donation. Remember, it's Smaulgld Appreciation Week. We're putting out extra blog posts and YouTube videos this week to show our appreciation for hitting over 1,700 subscribers. If you'd like to show your appreciation for Smaulgld, you can donate via Bitcoin, via PayPal, or become a patron via Patreon. The links are all below. And here you go. Here's a 3-year, 4-year chart. And you can see this April sales of 10,000 is the lowest by far. The closest is just that late last year when they had the 14,000 ounces. But you do see here well over 60, 70,000 for a cluster period here. So maybe these low sales here just reflect working down of this inventory. Now, Nick Laird keeps it even longer. He's been at it longer than I have. He's got a chart going back to 2012. But you see, you can't find a month lower than 10,000. Even when they ordered a lot in 2013, 110,000 ounces, yeah, it goes down, but it never reached these levels. So you see this cluster here, some of the biggest months in the last few years, in the end of 2016, early 17, then you have this sharp decline there. We mentioned the Rooster coin. Yeah, there's the Rooster coin. That coin, it's an attractive looking coin, as are many of the Perth Mint coins. They have a lot of nice designs. Their premiums are not too steep. Generally, the Perth Mint gold coins are about the same price, maybe a little lower than the U.S. Mint coins, about the price of the Canadian Mint, a little higher than the Austrian Mint gold coins. And they generally have the 3/9, 24 karat gold coin sales. Let's take a look at, by the way, if you're interested in buying gold or silver, you can do so through the Smaulgld site. You pay no more, no less when you buy through the links on the Smaulgld site or at the links below this YouTube. You can buy at JSD Bullion, JM Bullion, BJSC.com, Money Metals Exchange. Compare pricing and shipping, make your choice. Not investment advice, but if you are going to buy, it costs you no more, no less. And Smaulgld gets a small commission, so that's another way of helping the site out. And thank you for those who do consider buying your precious metals through the Smaulgld site. Now, if you look at the U.S. Mint versus the Perth Mint, as we mentioned, the U.S. Mint generally sells a lot more gold and silver than the Perth Mint, but the Perth Mint generally sells more gold on a comparative basis than silver, because the Perth Mint up until September 2015 did not sell a bullion coin in unlimited amounts. We're talking about the kangaroo, the silver kangaroo, and that was introduced in unlimited amounts as a bullion coin, rather than the other coins they sell in limited amounts, like the Australian koala, kookaburra, and they sell a bunch of different other coins, but they generally limit them in mintage. But they came out with the kangaroo when there was a shortage in 2015 at the Canadian mints and the US mints, and that coin has remained relatively popular and has boosted the silver sales at the Perth Mint. But in 2016 and 2015, Perth Mint, they were selling silver to gold 25 to 1, but about the same in 2016, while the U.S. Mint was selling 75, 100 to 1 in silver to gold. So there was a big boost in American Silver Eagles. 2015 was a record year, 47 million Silver Eagles sold. But let's look at the gold that the Perth Mint has been selling. So in March, the Perth Mint topped U.S. Mint sales for the first time, and the U.S. Mint sold 16,000 ounces, and the Perth Mint sold 22,000 ounces in March 2017. And again this month, the U.S. Mint only sold, and I'm only comparing versus American Gold Eagles, but on that comparison, even if you include the Buffaloes, the Perth Mint still beat the U.S. Mint in April by a wide margin by selling 10,490 ounces of gold compared to the just 3,500 1-ounce American Gold Eagles. Now, we can't blame any of this on the gold-silver ratio. I mean, you kind of could, but it's not really that important, because the gold-silver ratio has been about above 70 to 1, and the increase in April towards the end here, maybe it did have some impact, because maybe people didn't buy the gold as much. The silver sales, as we'll see later today or tomorrow at the Perth Mint, were better than the gold sales. They weren't tremendous, but they weren't horrendous. And that was the same. I think at the U.S. Mint, I would say they weren't tremendous and they were pretty horrendous. But the Perth Mint sales they were not horrendous. We'll see that in a bit tomorrow. They were pretty good. But this gold-silver ratio is still heading higher. And we're going to see when we do the Indian imports, we'll see a big divergence in the amount that was imported into India. Remember, India has no significant silver mining, and basically no domestic gold mining. So they have little silver and no gold mining. Yet, when you look at what's happened after the demonetization, Indians started getting cash again. You'll see, what did they run to? 20 to 1 gold. So we're going to check that out tomorrow. We'll have the gold and silver for India, and we'll see that big divergence in demand for gold versus silver. That about does it. Please subscribe to Smaulgld, subscribe to this channel, and thank you very much.